So Xander Hall almost did this on his stream back when it happened, like 2 months ago, literally. But then it like didn't work, and then Vaush said he was gonna watch. This is the Vaush Mexie debate, by the way. Vaush said he was gonna watch the Xander Hall Corvidae debate that happened after, but he didn't. So I'm going to watch them both if I have time tonight. Starting with Vaush and Mexie.
Hello.
Whoa, it's kind of loud. Just maybe do that, and then maybe like down to like 4. Yeah. All right.
Oh, hi.
Howdy.
Am I on?
Yes, you are on. Well, you're audible right now. I'll get video on in just a second. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Doing pretty wonderfully. Thank you very much for coming on.
Yeah, well, thank you for having me on. I guess I'll just try and open, because I can't see you right now. I'm just seeing my face.
Yeah, I can't. If I run the camera through Discord, it's going to freeze my main camera because I don't have an auxiliary one. So yeah, I'll just. I'm sitting. I'll describe myself. I'm sitting in a chair. I'm wearing a shirt. My hair's a little wet from the shower. That's kind of the vibe going on right now.
Well, I'll just bring it up so that I can see you, because it feels weird talking to like my own face.
That works too.
I just want to skip the fucking pleasantries.
How's your day going so far? You're on the East Coast, right? So your day has actually started, whereas I'm still waking up.
Hello? Oh, God.
Yeah.
Holy, where's my cursor? Holy shit, where's my cursor? Oh my God. Oh my. Worst YouTuber. All right. There it is. Gonna X out that window. That could be part of the problem.
So I'm in Toronto. My day's been going all right. I had to go get some groceries, so that was always, it's always a struggle going out and getting groceries right now. So that was mainly my morning. I just filmed something else.
You're not American?
Not American.
Ooh,
Nope.
All right. We're starting off the conversation on a bad foot, but that's okay. We'll pick it up from there. All right. So I've known about you for a while. You're the vegan video. I know everyone has seen the vegan video because it's got quite a few views. It's a phenomenal video. And I think it encapsulated so many of the issues I had arguing with vegans, which is something that I do all the time, unfortunately. And yeah, I guess I'd seen you on Twitter. And when usually, I think within this like online left-leaning sphere, when you don't follow a person, it's like saying you hate them. That's the gist that I get. So usually, I'm large enough now that when there are left-leaning people online, other content creators, and they don't follow me, I can assume like, okay, there's probably a reason for that. And we talked a little bit, I think, for the first time a few days ago. And I guess I was interested in asking like, what's your broader impression of me? Like, what's your history with knowing about me up until this point? I guess.
Yeah. So the history of knowing about you. I guess I first heard about you from my partner, who this was a while ago, was like, oh, you should check out Vaush's stuff. He's doing some good work debating Nazis, things like that. But I don't really watch streams. I don't really watch debates or anything like that. So I was like, yeah, all right, that's cool. I saw some clips of what you're doing. I was like, all right, neat. And then I followed you on Twitter at that point. And I was like, hey, like, I don't know, his Twitter presence is a little bit strange, right? Because at that time it was really like, I don't know, it seemed like I understood like you were kind of making this persona of like, I'm the bad guy of the left, like I don't play by the rules, right? Like I don't apologize for my language, and like, I don't know, it just seemed like you're kind of building up that kind of persona for yourself.
It sounds juvenile when you put it that way, but I mean, I'll take my punches, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, right. So it was like, okay, yeah, I see that. But then on the other hand, it was also like, I felt this real desire of like, oh, like, well, why doesn't the left embrace me? Like, why, whatever. But then simultaneously being like, oh, but they're too, I don't know, sensitive for me. They just take things way too seriously. Like they're too much, whatever, right? So I was like,
this is important for later in the debate.
Well. And then soon after that was the Thought Slime incident, and then the stream after that. And yeah, I guess at that point I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna dip right now. So that's kind of when I dipped off the Twitter. And then because I don't watch streams, I was just kind of like, yeah, whatever. He's out there doing his thing, and I never really thought, oh, this is necessarily bad. But then, my impression, I guess, and I think a lot of the issue that people have is mostly with Twitter, and I want to talk a bit about like audience today and things like that. But yeah, I mean, I saw the people having some like not great experiences, and I was just like, all right, I'm just gonna, I guess, not engage. And then I started engaging just now. So
yeah, you're gonna have to forgive me. I apologize if I sound flippant. I genuinely have a really bad memory. The context in which we spoke a few days ago with one another, that was following the Black nationalism drama, correct?
Yes.
I think, okay, right. I just want to make sure. As far as I'm concerned, that's settled. I talked to some folks off Twitter, so I think that particular wave of drama has been more or less quelled, which is good because it didn't make for a good conversation anyway. But yeah, I guess it's funny to me that I guess that would be like the incendiary incident that would lead to us talking. But I'm happy about that. I find that my job is a lot easier when people on the left don't fucking despise me. So it does, I think embolden me slightly. So you wanted to talk about audiences, yes?
Yeah, so I guess I just wanted to talk a bit, because I mean, everyone's obviously sick of the whole like, okay, here's the SJW Twitter and here's the dirtbag Twitter, or not Twitter creators or whatever. And yeah, I just felt like if, because you still talk about like, I want to kind of reconcile with the left, or I've seen that, or you said like, oh, it's frustrating when people on the left like don't respect me, because I think there is kind of a discourse out there that debate me bros or whatever aren't really doing anything for the left, and that it's actually more of a harm than good. And I don't really think that necessarily, but I guess I just wanted to talk a bit about like what I think could be the issue for a lot of people and like where we could maybe find some inroads to make things better. and yeah, I'm glad you did bring up the Black nationalism thing, because I guess my biggest concern in coming on the stream was, like upsetting a lot of my Black comrades who were like very upset by all of that. But I think, yeah, I think that's even like a good example of like ways in which like the flex could be improved like within the left. But I'm glad that you like talk to people offline and settle a lot of that.
Yeah, we can agree on that. I hope, if nothing else, even if there are differences in our rhetorical strategies, I'm sure we can agree that this guilt by association nonsense is probably not very productive for our discourse. The idea that like even the act of talking with me, because I know this. For example, I don't know. Do you know who Lumi Rue is by chance?
No.
Lumi Rue, they're a wonderful, very wholesome, very positive content creator on Twitch. They're obscenely, it's actually as a fairly edgy person myself, it's actually offensive to me how wholesome that they are. And they the most of the political backlash that they've gotten over the course of their Twitch career has just been because they've talked with me, even though they came on to disagree with me about how I approach my rhetoric. And I think that attitude, not only is it really, really counterproductive, I think it actually dissuades any kind of
actually
between people with different ideas of what the left should be, because some people are, like, even the effort of reaching out is something that is getting punished.
No, yeah, I agree with that. I don't think people will be mad at me for talking to you, but I guess I wouldn't want to like talk to you, but kind of like skim over those things and kind of just negate like, okay, that doesn't matter, But anyway, yeah, I agree. So yeah, I guess because a lot of people on the left, I think they are hesitant to talk to you. I mean, I've seen a lot of the flex within the left also being like, people are too cowardly to talk to Vaush. If they actually had real arguments, they would go on a stream and debate him, but like they're not, whatever. I think actually recently, because the tweet that you posted, that because I tweeted, Lottie Blitz had tweeted something and I'd replied something, which I apologize for. Like that, I try to let everyone come into contact with my higher self, and that was an example of not that really. But I think I posted that because I was frustrated because I'd seen you post something about like, oh, all these leftists, they're vague posting about me, like, why don't they call me out by name? Why don't they like come on and debate and whatever, right? And I was just like, all right.
I get my frustration. For one, I totally sympathize with the other side on this, because I recognize like on two sides. First of all, debate is not the only way to communicate ideas. The idea that like it's like Ben Shapiro, he's like, I'll pay any amount of money to debate AOC. Like it's this annoying, like nasally, like please acknowledge me with your. I totally understand how that's like fucking obnoxious. But on the other hand, I guess my main contention is that this is the medium through which I communicate. I mean, the live debate format. It's my job, so this is how I like talking to people. And my irritation is I feel like so many people take pot shots at me, but they don't ever want to talk about it. And when I want to talk about it with them, I don't want to bring them on here to epically disarm them with my rhetorical skill. I mostly just want to talk about the ideas that they have. I feel like it makes I don't know, the discourse a lot less toxic. But I think a lot of people assume that when I bring them on.
Why do people assume that like us on the left who are like debaters, like Vaush and Xanderhall and me to some extent, even though I haven't done any like big debates on my channel yet, I feel like I fit into this attitude of like the edginess and shit, and just kind of being who I am without like some kind of weird social conformity about my language, because I don't think conformity is a good thing. I don't understand why they think that we're just gonna be aggressive. Like, why is it intimidating? Like, we're actually just trying to talk about ideas. Like, it's not Dave Rubin. We're not disingenuous about it. We're actually just trying to talk about this shit, because that's the whole gig. Like,
I'm going to treat them the way that I treat Nazis, and I'm going to be like, all right, we've laid out the presuppositional arguments. I prepared a 53-point like dissection of everything you believe. We're going to go, and I get why they want to avoid that. But now I feel like I'm fighting against ghosts, because if people disagree with my ideas and I call them out directly, I'm seen as the bully, even though I feel they prompted it by vague posting about me to begin with.
Yeah, no, I can understand that as well. I guess. Yeah, I guess that in those situations, I mean, like, if the issue is that they feel like you've done something harmful and they're like upset by that, then like I think, of course, they don't really want to come on a stream in front of like thousands of people, like 60,000 people are going to watch this, and then have it be like you potentially coming up with a bunch of reasons why like it's justified and they're wrong to feel like I mean, like for people like that, I feel like they just don't want to do that. But I do understand the frustration of just feeling like people don't want to talk to you, and I think that part of that comes from maybe the flex, like the whole flex of like, oh, people are cowardly if they don't want to debate, and it's not just you who's perpetuating that. I think a lot of that is like your audience, which we'll get to. But yeah, I mean, people, if maybe they just want to talk to you like personally, right, like behind closed doors, but they feel like the only option is like a stream in front of thousands and thousands of people, or they're like a spineless coward that shouldn't be taken seriously or whatever, right? So anyway, let's move on to audience, because this is what I think is like kind of the biggest issue.
Before we jump to that, is there one thing I could ask you, because I'm interested in your opinions? Sure. By nature of the content that I do, I have to be contentious. It's like it is. I mean, it's as much a part of my content as like an academic veneer or like an academic presentation of ideas as to yours. It's essential to what I do. So I like talking with people who disagree with me. If I feel as though there are people who are aggressively and sometimes even in bad faith from the left condemning what I do or misrepresenting my positions, what alternative do I really have other than to say like, hey buddy, do you want to come on stream and debate it? Are you suggesting that I say like, hey, do you want to DM and talk about this privately, or that I should try to come off as like more amicably?
I mean, I think you could like DM them and talk about it privately. I think maybe you could maybe work a bit on having that flex of like, everyone's scared of me, I destroy everybody, like whatever, having that be towards the right. But then for leftists, like posting about like, why don't they name me by name, like come on my stream, whatever, like that is kind of I don't know, aggressive and confrontational, and people might feel like this isn't really something that you really want to talk about openly and earnestly with humility kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, that's to say, I think some of these people engage in open bad faith, and I don't think they're much interested in discussing or resolving differences, more so in just shit talking me, at which point I feel like I have fair pass to do what I want with them. But it's hard to tell who's like sincere or not. I have no fucking idea who's lying anymore online. I have no clue. I don't know if Sean's bad.
Slight reference to this thought slime, seems.
Faith on Twitter, I don't know, like thought slime, I have no fucking idea. I don't know who's actually engaging in good faith.
Yeah, well, I think most people are like in their mind engaging in good faith. I think that there's a lot of obviously like miscommunication online, and people's real intents can be I guess lost in the noise. But Yeah. So just okay. So moving into the
Yeah, I'm not trying to put you. Yeah, go ahead.
no, because I think this actually relates to your question of like what can I do? Because I think
People
that
in chat are like, is Mexie jealous of Vaush?
I think that another reason why people are hesitant to talk to you is because like and I want to make clear that the vast majority of your audience is probably super awesome. Like I'm probably just talking about like a couple hundred like reply guys on Twitter, and like Twitter is a shithole thing anyway. But like that's where people's impressions are formed of you. I think. For people who aren't like watching the stream or whatever, because like I know a lot of people who watch your content, watch my content, watch like whatever, all kinds of content, and like they're all cool. But because people do kind of take shots at like, oh, the debate bro culture and say this is not useful. This is bringing just like right wing people into the left, and then like they're harassing people. And I don't think that's true. Like if we can think about the right to far right pipeline, I think there could be a similar like I don't know centrist or right to left pipeline where people come into contact with people like you first, and then kind of move forward. And that's what people have said to me a lot, right? It's like people come in contact with Vaush or with whoever, and then they come into the left, and then they consume your content, and then they kind of move into the more like quote unquote softy left.
Yeah, the more orthodox left leaning people, which by the way is a process I'm totally fine with. I don't like the idea that I'm any less left leaning than the orthodox left leaning people. I know my views are pretty radical by anyone's standards. I'm not like Kyle Kalinske, for example. But I like being a part of that process. I like being the what's that net you do that you grab like the fried chicken or something from the oil or whatever. I like being the one to catch all the crispy little like alt-righters and conservatives and stuff. I like bringing them up and pulling them into the left. I think it's a really useful part of the process.
Yeah, I think it's really useful too. But I think what's happening for some people is like they're coming into the net and they're maybe getting like stuck in a certain place, and then like not actually continuing through the funnel. And then people are seeing those people and interacting with them, and then being like, oh fuck these debate bros, like all they're bringing in is these toxic people into the space that are like harassing us, and like they're not doing anything to
Well, of course it's a process. Like this I can't wait until this gets to the point where I actually have like stuff to say about it. Like, but this isn't even that long. Like it's only an hour longer than this.
Show an example for them and kind of.
But this is going to be like a long ass video of mine.
Space in a way that's more productive.
Where in the pipeline are they? Like what are the political characteristics of this group of people you're describing?
That like maybe they're they're interested in more left leaning like economic policy or things like that. Maybe they're even into maybe anti-racism or whatever, like something. But they're still very I think attached to like patriarchy or like patriarchal modes of like dominating other people. They're still attached to I don't know maybe different forms of oppression that they are exhibiting towards other people or like ignorant to. And I think part of that is that like the debate me bro culture, like we have that in like all movements, right? Like we have vegan debate me.
Oh yeah, we do. A pretty prominent collection of them at that.
Yeah, exactly, right. But I mean that's not a great example because those people are like objectively reactionary. But there's people who do argue, oh, but they're bringing people into the vegan movement. And like if I even engage with something that like Vegan Gain says or whatever, right? My inbox is full of like the most violent, misogynist, like rape thready kind of bullshit, right? But I'm not supposed to say anything about that because this is all just for the animals, right?
This is the question that I have though. I think is that this is a characterization of my audience that I hear a lot, but I don't think I've ever seen any evidence over it. I know it's difficult to gather evidence because there are no peer-reviewed studies on the political disposition of YouTube audiences. But when I look at like my chat or my Twitter replies or like my like Discord or whatever, these are usually like queer trans horny posters for the most part. I don't really see this like contingent of they're edgy people, sure, but these like aggressively toxic people, I just don't really like see them. The rule in my community is edgy but no edgier than me. I'm the threshold. You get to be a better person than me or you don't get to be in the community. Which I think is a good like litmus test, it's a decent metric. But when people say like they get caught in the pipeline,
I don't know whether or not I'm more edgy than Vaush, to be honest. I think I like Cumtown more than Vaush likes Cumtown, so I'm probably edgier than him.
I don't really think I have this collection of people who follow me.
I don't know if I'm welcome in Vaush's community.
Or like in on the economic arguments, but they're still like deeply patriarchal, I guess. I just don't really see that, so I don't know where that's coming from.
Well, I mean, they're probably not replying to you in ways that are like offensive or oppressive or whatever, but like they are replying to other people and doing that. And like I said, like this is like the vast majority of your audience I think is awesome, and I think that they they know what's up. Like they're empathetic people. They're just interested in like seeing a good debate and hearing good arguments and being armed with those arguments. But there's just and there's something about like the debate me kind of format that produces these kinds of reply guys. And like I'm just like they're not doing you any favors, So I feel like if we can maybe work on this and maybe like setting an example for people like that, then a lot of people would have a lot less reason to feel like I don't want to engage with Vaush,
I don't know if I can trust other people's account or characterization of those members of my audience because I don't trust their characterizations of me. There are a lot of people who still think that I'm like this really like reactionary, edgy, like Nazbol debate bro, and people think that of me in spite of all the contrary evidence in my content. I don't know how I can trust them to reasonably like characterize those members of my audience. What if all these debate bro types on Twitter are just other people like me who are genuinely progressive, that are sick and tired of all the hyper performative, sensitivity on the Twitter left? I don't really know. I can't tell. Like if I had to take a guess, there are definitely people in my audience who fucking suck. I think that's probably a reasonable guess given the size of my audience, and they probably do take a lot of that toxic debate bro shit along with them. But I don't know. I don't know if like that's like 10 people or if that's 100, or I don't know like how many of these people who are said to suck are actually just like me, in which case they're based and awesome. And if that's the case, if there are like the sensitive types on Twitter who take issue with those people, I would argue like no, fuck you guys, you're the ones who need to change. Because I would argue the sensitive types on Twitter have been actively holding the left back for a long time, and that some change is needed, even if it hurts for them a little bit.
Well, I mean, again, like maybe you're not seeing it. Like I'm seeing a lot of people who are being, it's if you would go out on Twitter and call people like mentally ill, like disabled, pathetic, like whatever.
Yeah, that was just the one time. Okay, we've gotten. Hey, listen, that was just the one time, right? We've all said we've all gone on Twitter and called everyone else mentally ill, degenerate, pathetic people. Okay, we've all done that at least once.
I mean, maybe, but like if it happens, I think what the issue is, I think the debate me bro kind of culture, it really. I think it creates people who have, pretty strong parasocial relationships with the debater, like more so than other content creators. Yeah, I mean, I think if people are coming in from the right, and like they're into this kind of like debate me, like I'm right, you're wrong, like we're gonna whatever. Because a lot of the debate me people on the right, like Sargon or whatever, they don't make any sense, right?
Oh, they're fucking insane. Yeah, absolutely. And their audiences are too.
Yeah, but what does a person like that give their audience, especially like the people on the far right who are really entrenched in this like toxic masculinity? Like it gives them the sense of being right. It gives them the sense of like I'm on the right side, and I'm gonna watch like my champion basically like emasculate other people, and that's what it's all like, right? It's just like
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
Like people trying to emasculate each other, assert their masculinity through these performative, displays of their intellectual superiority. And so, yeah, like people become kind of like attached to that because, what could be more emasculating or embarrassing than, either losing a debate or running scared from a debate.
To
like,
a man bun soy boy, if nothing else. Yeah. No, I completely agree. Yeah, I think it's dirty business. I could never have a community as clean as somebody like say Sean's, for example. Because just occasionally producing like really, really well researched and measured, content. I don't think that's ever going to get a community that forms the same type of like destructively parasocial interest that you could get from streaming every single day, doing debates basically every single day, and building up this sense of confidence, maybe in some cases unearned confidence on the part of my audience. I just don't know if that's necessarily a bad thing. I guess if I have to choose like an archetype, I would say like the debate bro is infinitely more productive in terms of bringing about political goals than like the really sensitive type on Twitter. I feel like those groups of people aren't actually interested in building leftism. They're more interested in preserving a space where they feel comfortable. But I would make
I buy his argument about this like pretty much entirely.
Argument they can do that under my wing while me and my angry as fuck followers actually carve out a space in the world for people like them to exist, because I can do that job 1,000 times better than any number of like performatively sensitive people on Twitter.
Yeah, so, like do they not think Vaush is on their side? Like I don't.
And I guess I would disagree. Like I don't think that, like I think we're both doing like equally good work.
You are absolutely, yeah.
Well, I don't think even like the more like quote unquote sensitive people on Twitter, like I don't think that they are, not actually, producing people or producing political people who are like to have political goals. I don't know what I'm saying. Because like bringing people in from the right, like. And if they do maintain this kind of like, debate me bro posture with people that they're interacting with, like you cannot take that. Like you can't actually go out into a political organizing space with that kind of bravado or machismo. Like you can't do it. It does not work. I've been in so many leftist spaces that, even with people who don't consider themselves that way, like it takes so much fucking emotional sensitivity and maturity to go through like accountability processes with your comrades or like whatever. I've had so many leftist spaces like, fall apart because people weren't up to that task, weren't able to really, deal interpersonally in a great way with each other. And then like for most of the organizing that's actually doing stuff, like tenant organizing.
Yeah, but like, yeah, sure, organizing with other leftists who already agree with you, sure, yeah. But like debating is contentious by nature, and it seems like Vaush is trying to get that through to Mexie, and Mexie's just like she doesn't understand the arena of debate. Like it's just built into the genre of content and the like genre of social interaction that you're doing.
Labor organizing, community organizing, like this is all being led by like racialized mothers, so you're not walking into that space with like any chip on your shoulder. You're extremely humble. Like there's just no room for like machismo and bravado in those spaces.
I want to say I completely agree with that. I would just want to distinguish between political efficacy in real life and political efficacy online. As we know, people like Sargon of Akkad, Count Dankula, Hexenhammer, whatever, these people would be utterly ineffective in real world politics, and we know that because they tried. But on YouTube, they have been extraordinarily effective in bringing literally millions of human beings over to reaction.
Yeah, right. Like we need our own leftist YouTube. Like that was what the whole breadtube, left tube thing was for. That's what we were trying to do with that. Because it is effective on the internet to be like edgy.
Politics. So I would say, like, listen, I do all my stuff online, okay? I'm not going outside, baby. But if I'm here on YouTube, like, that's where that's I think where I'm like ineffective political interlocutor. And when I'm in that space, I feel as though the sensitive types are an active detriment, because we don't really see them on the right that much. That's the nice thing about being a reactionary, right? If you're a reactionary YouTuber, your fan base is going to largely consist of white boy incels who are ready to die for the cause at any given moment because they have nothing going on in their lives. It's really effective for them politically. That's why they organize so much harassment and doxing, because they know all of their fans have nothing else in life to distract them. I think that kind of passion is really effective in online radicalization. Well, I'm not trying to exactly replicate that vibe. I do think that the way in which I engage with the community is especially effective in that sense.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying it's not effective in bringing people in, and I do think that like education and propaganda is vitally important. Like that's obviously a major step in what we're doing. I guess I would contend that the people who are the quote unquote sensitive leftists, and like I don't even know, like if I'm not a sensitive leftist, I don't even know like what you're.
I don't know. Are you?
Well, if I am, then yeah, then I would just debate that the usefulness of what it's not like sensitive leftists are part of the problem, or they're not actually doing work that's being politically effective, right? Mm-hmm. Because like people like people like me, I'm like actually bringing people in, and I bring people even from the right in, like maybe not as much as you do, but like I do bring them in.
I want to clarify. When I say sensitive people, I mean like followers, not content creators. I don't usually attack content creators, even if I feel their content is sensitive, with few exceptions. But yeah, the work that you do, I think is valuable. I wouldn't discredit.
I think it's coming. I think the big contention is we're sliding in. It's about to happen.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were talking about creators.
Oh, my apologies. I should have clarified. No, I mean like the I guess the normies are like the randos of Twitter. That's what really bugs me. And also a few people like Thoughtslime, for example, I would consider to be a ringleader of that particular type of content, which really bugs me. But I think that's it for the most part.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think Thoughtslime's doing really, really great work, and I think that I think that this line that's being drawn between like the soft and sensitive lefties and like the strong and like not weak lefties, that like I think the line being drawn is the thing that's really problematic. And I think that we could do better at, I guess, like moving people through the pipeline in ways that yeah, that don't lead to a lot of people being harassed and then feeling like, this sucks, right? Because the goal isn't just economic, better economic policy. Like the goal is total liberation, right? So like the goal is to actually like, yeah, you need to question actually the roots of patriarchy and like this, that's as a system of oppression and like what power that gives certain people, and especially like, yeah, men, I guess.
I don't really. I do talk about social issues for about 90% of my content, though. If anything, people criticize me that economically, I don't talk enough about revolutionary politics or Marxist
Right.
economics or what have you. But when it comes
And
to
also, like, Vaush, as far as I gather, his personality is, like, not very sensitive at all. He's just not, like, a sensitive person. So when he says, like, sensitive left, he means, like, Twitter woke scolds and...
like feminist or trans issues or race issues or what have you. I feel like that's the bulk of my content. But I pose this question to you then, like seeing it from my perspective. So it is undeniable that there's always going to be some portion of my viewer base that's fairly toxic. Like, I mean, yeah, okay, whatever, can't control everyone. With that being said, I often feel like I'm trying to argue with these conservatives and fascists and Nazis all the time, and I'm always getting like pot shots are taken at me from the back. Every time I name search myself on Twitter, which you should never do, the top lists are always people talking about how I'm a problematic, Nazbol, hates trans people, hates black people, like the whole rundown. It's always from somebody with some fucking pit crew avatar with 72 followers and whose entire feed is like retweeted She-Ra fan art. Okay, and God bless them. Let them live their lives. All right, love it. She-Ra, fun show. But holy shit, can I get like a fucking break cut for me for a moment? I feel like all the work I do and all the research I do off stream, like all of this is like anti-Nazi praxis, and then I wake up and most of the shit that I get is people who think like I should do it but be nicer about it, and I don't really know what to do with that. I can't do what I do while adopting the same type of performative
You're a fascist because you were mean to a Nazi.
sensitivity that a lot of other people have come to expect from the left. That's why I can do what I do. That's why people like Sean and Contra don't do debates, because it's impossible for them to maintain that decorum in environments with some of the people that we're trying to fight against. So it's just a cost of doing business. I don't know what to do with that, really.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it wouldn't be so, I think people wouldn't really have as much of an issue, like, if you're just doing that with the right. I think people don't really like seeing that kind of flex towards people on the left. And I mean, like, other content creators.
But there is, like, a segment of the left who doesn't even think that we should debate the right in the first place.
So I think that, it's great that you're like bringing people through the door or whatever, and then here they are. I just think that once they're through the door, because like they respect you so much, like they really do have like, parasocial relationships with you. And, like a lot of people are very personally invested in like Vaush being right, and they will like take that to the rest of the Twitter sphere and be like, whatever. Like if I have a disagreement with like American Johnson, like I'm not gonna get like a bunch of people being like, oh yeah, well like you don't even know like how great EJ is and like he would destroy you, like go on a stream or like there
what kind of disagreements do you have with American Johnson? Because my disagreements aren't people on Twitter kindly correcting me on something. My disagreements are where people insinuate that I'm a Nazbol because of the way I approach my content. That's the issue I have. If people approach me in good faith, like I'll happily talk with them in private, but I feel like a lot of people's criticism towards me are insane. It makes it really difficult for me to feel as though there's any response other than to just challenge them, because I consider these people to be doing a detriment to their left.
Are you talking about content creators think you're Nazbols?
Well, wait. If somebody thinks I'm a Nazbol, I'm gonna ask them to talk about that contention and tell me why they think that and argue against that characterization of myself, because I'm not one. Like, does she expect him not to debate it?
There have been some insinuations to that effect, yeah. People like American Johnson, Thought Slime, what was the person that you just said? Lottie Blix? They tweet about that shit a lot. There are other Black nationalism got a bunch of people out of the woodworks making those same basic accusations. So I don't know how many of them are content creators. Also, the optics of arguing with black people over their ideas on racism being stupid isn't really that good, even if I think they're wrong. But yeah, so that's just an optical consideration. But I'll bring trans people onto the stream and tell them their ideas are fucking stupid. Like I don't care. If anyone has a good idea, they should be able to.
Same, so will I.
Like defend it in an environment where it's being challenged. I think by somebody like me. If their ideas are good, they should be able to prove that to me.
Well,
I just don't know what to do with these types.
I mean, just on that, like, yes, people should be able to prove it, but like if you're talking to like a black person about their ideas on racism or like their own experience or whatever, you don't have to like flex as if like what I'm saying is right and what you're saying is wrong. Or like it can be like this is my personal opinion and like I don't have experience with this, so like.
But I do. I'm a sociology major. Not fucking wrong. Yeah, a lot of black people have some stupid fucking opinions on race. Yeah, absolutely. Fuck these people.
Yeah, like you can be wrong. Yeah, like for example, if there was a black person who's like, "Hey, we're melanated people. I have more melanin in my skin and my brain, which is bullshit, and therefore I am a higher being than a white person who's fallen, and they are just a Yakubian devil who's like abandoned by the sun and diminished and deprived and can only act out of cruelty, then yeah, you're wrong. Black people can be racist. Black people can be wrong about the issue of race. Mexie seems like the type of leftist, based on this debate, who just thinks of identity politics or like intersectionality as, oh, I'll just believe whatever the people who belong to these identity groups say about it. But no. Because if you do that with white men, like, you don't do that with what... You see what I mean? Like, it's like, do you actually think we're equal? It's a weird way of thinking about things, and it's inherently essentialist. I need to make like a video dedicated to like essentialist intersectionality or essentialist liberal identity politics, because like it disgusts me. I hate it.
I've seen people defend fucking Candace Owens lately. What was that thing that fuck, what's her name? That black lady. Come on guys. She defended Candace Owens. Cat Black. Yeah. She said she'd rather talk about race issues with Candace fucking Owens. Hitler wasn't a nationalist Owens over a white guy or something like that. What am I supposed to do with these? I'm not gonna politely. Here's my opinion. No, fuck that. Absolutely not. These people are stupid. I'll bring them on. I'll tear them down like any conservative.
Anybody can have an opinion about anything. Like, what the fuck is this shit?
If you're talking about conservatives, like fine, but I don't think like, you know, I think there was a recent like you were talking about, somebody posted this thread, you're talking about like voting for Biden or whatever, and you're like, it's gonna harm marginalized communities, and then like the person was like, I'm black, like this is not our guy or whatever, but then you're just like, no, that's stupid, like you don't represent black people or whatever, but it's like you don't represent black people.
No, I represent good ideas. I don't think anyone represents their demographic. I just have my own ideas. But like, fuck it. Yeah, but black person's like, fuck that, we're not right. It's like, okay, sure, come on, talk with me about it. You know, this is one of the things that I think is detrimental to our ability to convince other people. This idea that fundamentally, like your demographic orientation in any way bears like an effect on the arguments that you make. That liberal
I mean, like this happened to me like recently. You know, like I was like standing for Bernie. I was like out there doing this stuff, and then some black comrades of mine were like, hey, you know, like this actually, like we're not voting, and like this is why, and like, you know, indigenous comrades were like, yeah, we're not down with this, and this is why. And
what for Bernie? Tell them to vote for fucking Bernie Sanders instead of just
at first, admittedly, I responded
allowing them to fucking trample on you with their stupid opinion.
Did like embarrassingly poorly to this like very gentle call in, because I was just like, you know, what the hell are you talking about? Like obviously this is tactically way better, blah blah. But anyway, like after some discussion, I was just like, you know, yeah, like if I'm saying like I'm doing this for you, and then people from that community are like, look, like it's not gonna make a difference to us, like us under Obama versus us under Trump, like, you know.
Yeah, that's stupid. That was stupid of them. You were swayed by a bad argument. I don't care how black-pilled these lefty indigenous folks are. They're still factually wrong on this. Yeah, bring them on my stream. I'll talk to them about it. Yeah, I'll bring them over. I'll make them look bad in the process. I hate these people. Just you know, I'm not trying to be like performatively cruel here or anything.
This is why Vaush greater than Mexie. Right there.
Like that. But this is exactly what I mean. This is people who are so, I'm not trying to impugn you here, this is people who are so sensitive of the idea of talking over a black person that they will let black people like have bad ideas that hurt the world, and then they'll step back like, it's not my place to criticize. Yeah, it is. I mean, maybe you're not American. I'm an American. Like I live in this country. I'm not going to let anyone get in the way of me trying to make this country a better place, even if they're a different skin color than I am.
Yeah, but if you're saying I'm doing this for your community, and they're like, bro, it does not matter. My community is going to be just as fucked with a Biden presidency as a Trump presidency. Like I'm voting my conscience. You can't be like, you're fucked, you're stupid, shut up, that's wrong.
Well, I would make a better argument than that, I think. But no, this sentiment would be basically the same. Yeah, I don't think they're representatives of their community. If they want to make the country a worse place, they can go sit in the dipshit corner over there while I try to bring together the rest of them. Yeah, I don't know.
Like, obviously, nobody wants to, like, obviously, they're not going to come on your stream if like this is your flex. You know,
well,
you're not being like, it is a flex because you're not like, hey, let's actually talk about this, and I really want to understand your position, and I really want to understand why you don't want to vote for Biden and whatever. Like I wouldn't vote for fucking Biden if I was in the States.
Okay, wait, but then I would argue with you on that too. But I'm not trying to flex though. If they're wrong, I would talk about it with them. But when I argue
they're
with
not wrong. It's their position.
Okay.
You can say like my position is that I think that this would be better, and I think that tactically this is better to make the world better. But you can't say like your position is wrong. You know what I mean?
Can I ask you something? Like out of curiosity.
But then there's no debate. What does right or wrong mean beyond like effectiveness or opinion? Like there is no right or wrong, therefore whatever might as well be right or wrong. Like what?
Yeah.
Okay, Morgan Freeman famously once said in an interview that in order to address racism in the United States of America, we just need to stop talking about it. That's what Morgan Freeman said. I forget the exact context of the interview. If you were the interviewer and a black guy, Morgan Freeman, respectable black man, said to you, in order to fix racism, I think we need to stop talking about it, what would you say to him? If you're on a public platform, millions of people are going to watch this interview. What do you say in response to that?
The big difference between like this example that you're trying to give here is that Morgan Freeman is like a millionaire, right? Like he's not actually facing racism in the sense that he's not facing, you know, like white supremacy is a material structure. It's a material economic structure that affects people. So if he is, you know, he's largely not being affected by structural
What
oppression.
about a regular black person then? Let's say you're like a Vice interviewer and you're doing...
That honestly is kind of a based point that she just gave, but
doing like a big piece on like racism in America.
That's like Mexie gets 1 point for that, beyond just coming on at all, I guess.
You're doing a sit down with some like regular guy. He grew up in the Bronx.
But like we're gonna see. I don't even know if she deserves that last part.
Family income of $23,000 a year, and he makes that same claim to you.
Like that person, you know, like I would just not really know what to say, I guess, in that position. But like the majority of the black community that is left and that is, you know, that is actually struggling under white supremacy as a structure. If they're, you know, the majority of that community is saying one thing, like I think we should listen to them. And even if I think that person is wrong, I can say like who cares about that one guy?
Well, millions of people are going to watch that interview. You're a public figure in this context, in this hypothetical. So, like in that context, what would you say? Because Morgan Freeman's little tidbit there has been used as an excuse for years after for people to say, "Oh, you want to get racist? Just don't talk about it." So, if you leave it unchallenged, people are going to take that and run with it.
Yeah, but what you're talking about challenging is like somebody not wanting to vote for Biden. That's like completely different. You know, it's like they can be right about that, and you can also have your opinion about that. It doesn't have to be like I'm right, you're wrong.
But you could say the same thing about fixing racism. Yeah. So their opinion is that the best way to fix racism isn't to talk about it. The best way for you would probably be like systemically like dismantling racism. But you have to challenge them on that, even if they're black, or millions of people are going to run with their arguments and say, "Hey, look, the black guy said like we can get away with this. You know, we don't have to talk about racism."
I wouldn't say you're stupid, I'm right, you're wrong. I would say you know, maybe my voice isn't the one that's like super important here. So here are some like important black activists who are saying this other thing, and maybe you should consider looking at this. You know.
Well, the majority of the black community voted for Biden in the primaries, like the vast majority. So when you make that same argument to the black people that you were working with back in protests, when you say like you could say that to them like, hey, the vast majority of black people seem to be voting for Biden. So couldn't we use that as an argument then to like move them on that?
Well, a lot of people are voting for Biden because, like, A, of what the DNC did, B, because of the name recognition with Obama and everything.
Wait,
so
you're weaseling, though.
no, you're weaseling.
No,
like,
you're trying to find an excuse for how you wouldn't feel comfortable critiquing their bad opinions in one respect, but in another respect, you do have the right to do that. Why can't we just say it doesn't matter what their skin color is? Let's challenge their ideas if we disagree with them.
What I'm saying is that if you're not from a community and you don't have that experience, and someone's trying to explain their experience to you, like in good faith, as a leftist trying to explain their experience to you and why it doesn't matter to them and why they don't want to reward the DNC by voting for Biden, and you're saying that this is a stupid idea, this is a very different thing. Like, you're just trying to excuse doing that. All I'm saying is, like, all you had to do in that situation was be like, look, tactically, or like my position is this, and like your position is that, but not like, you're stupid, I'm going to debate you until you admit that you're wrong.
I can disagree with them, though.
Well, what's even the point of disagreeing if you don't want to convince? Ultimately, like, honestly, like, what?
I can challenge their opinions and try to move them over, right? I mean, I'm not literally saying I'd walk up to them and like slap a notebook out of their hand and be like, you're dumb, let's talk. Like, obviously, if I'm trying to change their minds, I would engage with their ideas. I just don't think that a person's skin color gives them like carte blanche permission to just ignore contrary arguments when it comes to the efficacy or the morality of their behavior.
Right, like, oh.
I'm not saying that either. But what I'm saying is that, like, you shouldn't be, if you're speaking for a community and they're trying to speak back and you're like, you're stupid, that like maybe your voice isn't the most necessary in this conversation.
Well, if I'm right, then my voice is, and they would be wrong in
Jesus.
that context, so it would be. I mean, if we're just talking about
optics. This is what I'm talking about. Like, you're just assuming like I'm right.
Well,
That's what I'm talking about. Well, what do you expect him to think? He's wrong about his position? What? You expect somebody to think they're wrong about their own position?
I can defend my ideas, yeah. Every time I have a Bernie or Buster type person up here, like, they get eviscerated. And it's going to keep happening as we get closer and closer to the actual election. The reason for like these are like Kyle Kalinske wouldn't even debate me on this because he knew he would lose. This isn't like a flex thing. This would be like people like to me what you're saying, like from my perspective, this would be like you saying like, dude, racism in America is over. Obama has been elected president. And I'm like, what? That's fucking stupid. And you're saying, whoa, hold on, cut the flex. Like, this is an idea and people's experiences are on the line here. Like, to me, this is a fairly indefensible point. But
like, no, for most people, like between Trump and Biden, they're not going to see much of a difference. And they like, they saw what happened. They're not wrong. They're not going to see a difference. Like, that's their experience.
I don't care what they see though. I care what actually is real in the material world. I don't care what they see. People are stupid.
I'm saying, like, no, this is what's happening materially in the world. Like, they're not going to feel much of a difference, right? And like, after seeing what the DNC did, people are like, I'm not going to reward this. I'm not voting for a racist and a sexist and a misogynist. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to vote for someone who's like a literal rapist.
So they're going to let a worse racist, a worse sexist, and a worse rapist get into office.
Well, you know what? If Biden got into office, he would probably do most of the same shit. But
are we really going to get? Okay, if you actually want to get into this, you are going to. This argument is going to go very poorly for you. I have literally like mountains of evidence. This is an indefensible thing. While Biden, we can't argue that Biden is like a good politician. I would never make that claim. It is undeniable that Biden is preferable to Trump in every material circumstance. Economically, when it comes to alleviating student loans up to a certain amount or allowing people free 2 years of college, to the public option program, which is infinitely superior to what Trump has proposed, to being able to appoint Supreme Court justices who aren't going to be literal fucking white supremacists, which we're probably going to get from Trump. We're going to have a 2-7 court for the next 40 years if we don't. To all the lower justice cabinet appointments that he can appoint, to all the social positions that he's advocated for, up to and including an advocacy for reparations, up to and including Bernie's delegates in the cabinet and allowing Bernie to make concessions for that. Like, I could literally, like, this is not an arguable point. This is material reality. You might as well argue flat earth. That'd be worse at that argument defending like ground earth against you.
Honestly, like, we will see. Like, I am really not convinced that he will actually like make better picks in any of these situations. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens materially for people. But
Yeah, I guess it's just I don't know. I guess I got a lot of trans people in my community. I don't like the idea that they're all going to like literally fucking die if they're like continue to exist in a regime that denies their existence. I don't know. It's just a personal opinion of mine. But
I mean, obviously. But
yeah.
like, if people are like, I'm not, like, it's not the right answer, they're the wrong answer. I just feel like that really is a flex,
Yeah, but I'm flexing against people whose ideas are hurting the world. I would do the same thing against conservatives. I don't think being a leftist means you instantly get like a defense against criticism against your actions.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't really want to keep going off around like Biden or whatever, but like, I really, I wouldn't encourage people to vote for him, frankly.
I know that's okay, but my facts don't care about your feelings. So I mean, I'm gonna keep advocating for Biden, and then we can bully him for the next 4 years. That's gonna be really fun for me personally. The far left hasn't done anything to the Trump administration over the past 4 years. We literally can't touch him because they don't give a fuck about us. Biden's weak. We can push him. We can push that motherfucker right out of the Oval Office chair, and we can stomp on him until he's dead. And now we'll get a lot more done than having Trump in. He's already made like 16 concessions to Bernie, but like I don't know. We'll see where that goes, I guess.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah, I didn't mean to get caught in the Bernie or Bush debate here. I think the fundamental disagreement that we're having right here is like I consider the people that you're just describing to be as, if not more, detrimental to the left than any conservative agent. You can do more damage from within a movement than you can from without. I mean, the FBI knows that, right? With COINTELPRO, it's really difficult for me to like do my job when I feel like when the same dumb fuck arguments I hear from conservatives are getting brought up again by people of color on my side, I don't get to like criticize them for that. Or if I do, like I'm accused of being a toxic debate bro,
Yeah, well, I mean, anyway, I don't have much to say about
that.
I disagree, like, but I'm not,
Okay. Well, yeah, I just want to make the world a better place. Yeah, I don't know. It's just really difficult for me to do that sometimes with some of the people. Do you never get the feeling that some of the people on the left don't really care about invoking leftism?
No. Like, I don't know who you're talking about. Like, I think that people, yeah, I mean, the people on the left are upset, I think, by people who don't really want to listen, I think that's like the biggest thing.
I do. I want to bring everyone on. I wish I could. I want to do a stream where everyone who disagrees with me would come on. We can go through them one by one. They won't do it.
They won't feel listened to you at all, They won't listen by you. They don't feel like you're listening to them.
Well, just because he disagrees and he's arguing with them. Like, why wouldn't you? It's like, I don't want to just exist in this space where everybody feels like, oh, I'm right. I'm validated. Like, we should all have, like, opinions that are actually, like, that actually make sense, that are actually good. Like, we can't just let people get away with whatever they want. Or else we're not doing anything. Like,
describing cowardice. So they're shit talking me, and they're afraid that they're not going to be listened to, but they won't talk to me because they don't want to risk being proven wrong. Like, yeah, so I don't think the issue is they don't feel listened to.
Like, they're not going to feel like they are proven wrong. Like, they're looking for, like, I see you, I feel you, I acknowledge this, I will consider this, like, I will potentially, you know, change my behavior or whatever, right?
If they can make good arguments, yeah. But if they make bad ones, then yeah, they're going to lose.
If they're right, they'll get that. If they're wrong, they won't. Like, there's a right or wrong here. Like,
I think that's their issue. They don't want to.
Part of this conversation is honestly just like a Vaush, like, thinker versus feeler, like, thing. Like, I don't.
They don't actually want to discuss it. They just want to tell me what I should be doing, and they want me to just listen to them, even if they can't make good arguments.
They want you to understand. They want you to understand, so that even if you continue to make your own arguments, you're just like, I acknowledge, like, this other side, or like, I acknowledge that, like, maybe, you know.
But they have to give me good arguments. I don't have to acknowledge. Well,
But why would you acknowledge a side that you fundamentally disagree with?
Talking Nazis too. Like, if a Nazi comes up to me and they're like, "Hey man, have you considered, like, maybe the Jews do control America and AIPAC really is the vessel of the Zionist agenda?" And I have to be like, "Okay man, I'll consider those arguments." Like, no, if ideas are bad, I'm going to shit talk them until they're actually, like, proven good. I've changed my mind live on stream before on many issues. Black nationalism. I've changed my mind on rural utilitarianism to act utilitarianism. I've changed my mind on a fuck ton of trans-related positions. I've moved over on quite a few things, but I need to hear good arguments. I don't think these people have good arguments, and that's why they don't talk to me, because they know that it's easier for them to just complain than it is for them to actually test their ideas against someone who will push back on them.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think they just don't want to, you know, sit here and have someone, you know, like, berate them and assume that they are so right that, like, they're just going to destroy the other person. Like, it's emotionally taxing. It's absolutely emotionally taxing, and it's just like, why would I do that, you know?
I think the main disagreement we're having is you're under the assumption that I'm this bullheaded sycophant who just destroys people I talk to. When if you look over my channel, there are dozens of discussions I've had with people who I disagree with where I've acted in extraordinarily good faith. So the idea that, like, I won't hear these people out is not, like, it's just not borne out in the data. I love hearing people out because I know I can win without bullying over them.
See, that's exactly it. Like, I love hearing people out because I know I can win.
Yeah, that's my job. I'm really, really good at debate. It's literally my
People
job.
don't want to talk to you if it's like, this is going to be a win-lose thing. Like, they want you to, like, understand and see them and, like, acknowledge and, like, you know, treat them with respect. Not like, oh, I'm going to hear you out just so that I can win.
But what if they win?
Well, they're not going to because you're so sure that you can win. No. Like, you're going to use all this, like, rhetoric or whatever.
What? And then she's like, oh, the thing they say about Destiny. Shady debate tactics. Rhetoric. You use rhetoric. Oh no. Save us from the rhetoric. We're us weak lefties. We can't be wrong. Like, it's funny because she's like, oh, you come in with this automatic attitude that you're always right about everything. But then her position is like, just treat everybody like they're right about everything.
Or, like, this is your job. Like,
you're doing the sneaky debate tactics thing Destiny here. I don't win.
Like, this whole thing is into, like, totally unproductive shit about, like, you're just being like, listen, like, if you have a good argument, then, like, you come on and you tell me, and, like, if it's good, then, like, it's good and you're gonna win. And
why is that unproductive? And she's drawing this into a dichotomy disingenuously that's not what Vaush said. Vaush didn't say you're gonna come on and you're right or wrong. Vaush said he talks to people in good faith.
The reason I'm confident I'm going to win.
Game, and you know how to win the debate game.
No, you're literally doing the sneaky debate tactics argument. I've talked with tons of people I disagree with in good faith. When I win, it's not because
she rolls her eyes.
Use sneaky debate tactics. It's because I think a lot about my arguments and I spend a ton of time thinking about them. That's the reason why when you brought up Bernie or Bust, you had nothing to say after I listed off like 24 reasons why Biden's better than Trump. That wasn't a sneaky debate tactic.
Like, I just don't want to get into all that right now because that wasn't the point.
Okay, I agree it's not the point, but this is the frustration that I have with arguments. I feel like I spend a ton of time thinking about my positions, and when people disagree with me, I lay out the reasons why I disagree with them, and then when they inevitably come off looking bad, they think it's because I had this, like, bullheaded, like my obsequious arguments, like I was never interested in hearing them. Like, no, we just had a discussion and I wasn't convinced by their arguments. But I've talked with people in good faith. I've talked with incels. Last night I had a 2-hour conversation with a Nozbol where I heard out every single thing he said and then demolished it, you know, because it's a Nozbol, like, pretty easy one on my part. I've talked with the woke stolly types. I like those good faith engagements. I wouldn't feel good about what I did if I felt like shouting over people was the only way I could win arguments.
Well, I mean, like, if you want more people on the left to actually want to engage with you, like, I mean, I feel like you think maybe you're engaging in faith and, like, you feel like you're listening or whatever, but, like, you know.
Do you have any good faith in me engaging in bad faith? Can you find a time or point out?
You're not, because you don't automatically agree with them. What? It's like weird. It's a weird psycho thing. This is weird to me.
An argument where I engage in bad faith?
Well, just even this whole thing about, like, you know, like, they're wrong and I'm going to prove that they're wrong and I'm going to embarrass them and they're going to end up looking bad on my stream or whatever. Like, people are going to come on your stream if you're, like, going to make them look bad because they don't have your argument. You know what I mean?
But that's not bad faith. That's just me being a contentious performer. But when they actually come on stream, I engage with their ideas. In debate, I don't engage in bad faith. I never do that. I think there may have been an argument or two where I did that and I reached out and apologized afterwards. And I think I, like, made comments about it in chat afterwards. Like, I don't think I handled this debate very well.
Okay, well then I guess there's just no reason why other leftists won't want to ever talk to you. And
well, there is. They just don't want to be proven wrong.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Wait, why can't it be that? Wait, why can't that be it?
That's not it.
Why can't that be it?
Fine, yeah, everyone's a coward except for you.
No, you're not, because you came on and talked to me, and there are other people who have too.
But you've, like, made me look bad this whole time. Like,
only because
why is she projecting this narcissism onto him that he clearly does not possess?
No, wait, you're projecting right now. I'm just trying to.
Yeah, you are.
Talk about the feelings that I have and the ideas that I have. The reason why people don't want to talk with me.
The feeling that you have is that you're right and that you destroy people and that people don't want to talk to you because they don't want to look bad because their arguments are bad and you.
Whoa! I just realized for the first time that I watched this debate, she did the thing that she accuses him of doing. She's not listening to him. She didn't listen to him at all.
you just show them who's right all the time.
So funny you're saying this because Sargon of Akkad and Six Hexenhammer said this literally 2 days ago. Because I've made so many conservatives look bad, they're cowering right now, giving themselves excuses to why they don't need to listen to my arguments because I'm a bad faith interlocutor. But if you go over the debates that I've had with these people, they were fucking annihilated. And what I feel like is when they're saying, oh, well, Vaush is just a bad faith actor who just likes posturing to his audience, what they're actually saying is, holy shit, I got blown the fuck out, but I have an audience that I need to preserve my ego in front of, so I better back up and make it look like Vaush is just a bad faith actor. That's what I feel like is happening right now. It's my job to debate. I'm very, very good at it. But I'm not good at it because I cheat. I'm good at it because I'm good at what I do, because I apply my academic understanding of rhetoric towards the field that I'm in. So when people say, like, you don't engage good faith, so I'm not even gonna bother talking with you, it's really frustrating because there's nothing that I want more than to hear a good faith argument about how I'm one of the fucking nosballs these people seem to think I am. I would love to hear those arguments.
So then you honestly think like, oh, the reason why like more of the left doesn't engage with me or doesn't come on my stream is because like they're just too scared of not having good arguments and having me like destroy them and make them look bad. That's like your idea.
I think a lot of them are just intimidated by the platform, which I don't think is wrong. I mean, again, debating in front of thousands can be very, very unnerving. I don't blame people for feeling that way, but I do think a lot of them are just nervous about being proven wrong. Yeah, it's way easier to just shitpost on Twitter than it is to actually defend yourself in front of a person who's very, very good at talking.
Well, listen, like if the issue is like I think you've done something harmful, right? Like I think people feel like they're being bullied. Like if I feel like you've done something harmful, and then like my option is to come on stream and have you like debate about why like I'm being too sensitive and I shouldn't have been upset by this, and actually your position is right, and actually like I'm in bad faith here, and whatever. Like who wants to fucking do that? Like they just want like some openness or like an apology.
Talk about why should I apologize?
Because you've harmed someone and hurt someone. Like if you want a relationship with somebody and like they feel harmed, then like you have to actually care about how they feel.
They have to make the argument that I did something worse. Like otherwise, that's abuser logic. Like I'm not going to apologize without doing anything. If they can prove to me or like suggest to me, I don't need like receipts or anything. But if they can say like, hey, your community or you have hurt me for this or that. By the way, I have apologized to people before. Cyberwitch Lexi came on my stream after I disagreed with her publicly on a Bernie or bus thing. We had a polite conversation afterwards. I apologized profusely for being harder on her than I think I needed to be. I've apologized to Gushin, I think, for my engagement with her. I've apologized to I do this all the time, like in person. I'm not that egotistical. Like I'm proud of the work that I do, and I think the best way to maintain the quality of that work is to make sure that when I win debates, they're legitimate, sincere wins.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I don't know.
But if people have an issue with my content, they can always come on.
She just drops it.
I like talking about it. It's my job to talk about it. My job would be so much easier if like the lefties didn't attack me so much. I'm growing very, very quickly. I think this is a wonderful thing for the left. Online is getting a pretty scary place right now. There are a lot of Nazis. I'm genuinely worried about the future of this, I guess, of this country, of the English-speaking language of the world. And for me to be trying to do something about that and to have to waste my time with all these people like taking pot shots at me, but they won't talk about it. But I'm supposed to take them seriously. Like I don't know. It's really, really weird.
It's not really that weird. I mean, even if people can defend their positions, yeah, they don't want to come on a stream in front of thousands of people and talk about these things, especially if they do feel like they've been harmed, you know? Like, I feel like, yeah, it's great
that's what he just said. He just said the platform. Yes.
Like, all the Nazi shit that's been going on. But like once they're in the door, I think like they should see you emulating values of like empathy, compassion, like mutual aid, support, solidarity of your fellow leftist creators, not this shit of like, oh, well, if you actually had a good argument for why what I did was harmful, then you would come on my stream and like debate it with me and whatever. And I'll totally.
Well, it depends on what the fuck you're talking about, right? Like it actually does. Like somebody calls him a nosbol, they have to prove that.
Listen to you just because I know I can win.
Well, I listen to them because listening to people's ideas is how I counter them. Listening is an essential component of debate. Unless
exactly.
Yes, listening is a part of winning. It's part of the winning strategy.
Like if people are like, you've done this harm, like people don't want to give you these arguments just so you can counter.
She's asking him to like eliminate his own agency and brain when he talks to these people, and just like become a open bowl for them to just like pour all their like ideas into without any like. She's acting like he doesn't have a brain of his own.
Yeah, no, that's exactly it. You don't want them to actually discuss their ideas with me. You want them to tell me what to do. This is abuser logic. You want people to have an issue with my content to come on to tell me that I need to apologize.
I actually posted these things on Twitter. I'm going to read this out to you.
Sure.
Because there's a very, it's not abuser logic. If you're the person who's coming from a position of privilege and you're doing harm to a marginalized community.
I'm doing harm, though.
They don't have to prove, like, that's such bullshit. Like, prove you're doing harm. Like, you said this, you legitimated the system of oppression, you legitimated the language of the oppressor, you did this, whatever, and you're going to, like, you reacting badly to that and you being like, I'm going to debate the fuck out of you to destroy you and make it, like, so that you are wrong and, like, just so that I don't have to, like, even remotely apologize or take accountability.
I just say, do you want to talk about it on stream? That's it. There's nothing fragile about what I did.
There's no, like...
Do you want to talk about it? Yeah, right. People look at like your whole flex is like people. I'm the bad guy. People are cowardly. Like they don't want to.
It's not a flex.
Come on.
Do you think because okay, wait. I feel like we're running in circles right now. It's really, really difficult. I feel like I'm being gaslit, like unironically. So cool, let's agree on some very basic, like fundamental principles. Okay. Do you believe that if a person takes issue with another person, it is reasonable that person A would need to make an argument for why they were hurt before person A should be expected to apologize?
Listen. People like I've upset people before. I've done things. I've acted in with like white fragility. I've acted with like bad shit. I've said bad shit that has harmed people in my community who I fucking care about. And I've had a lot of people come to me and like gently call me in. And like even I am like geez, like that's not what I meant, or like I wouldn't personally have taken that as offensive or whatever, but like it doesn't really matter. Like facts don't care about your feelings, but interpersonal relationships are just 100% about feelings.
Just come on.
So this is something that I care about.
That's abuser logic. It is. You can't just make up reasons for another person to apologize to you. There has to be. First of all, nothing I do here is interpersonal. I don't know or care about on a personal level anyone on Twitter except for my girlfriend and a few friends of mine. So if they want me to apologize to them, like these are friends of mine, they're gonna need to make an argument.
When you said this, it was harmful because X, and then I'm like, no, you got to make a better argument for why what I did was harmful. Even if I don't agree or if I didn't mean it that way, I can still say like, listen, look, I see you, I hear you. I didn't mean it that way. This is what I think, and I don't mean any harm.
That's what I want. That's all I want, though. You just said they come on and they say you hurt me because X. That's all I want to hear.
They're not coming on my show. They're just telling me, and then I'm saying that. Like, and I'm someone who's like, you can come to me and say that, and I'm not going to react like super with like hyper defensiveness and be like, you better prove to me that like I did harm before I see you and recognize you, and just like openly with humility be like.
Okay, let me use a specific example then. Okay, if somebody on Twitter calls me a nosbol and they're a fairly prominent Twitter user, a few thousand followers, gets a few hundred likes and retweets, do you think that I should apologize?
No, I wouldn't even reply to something like that.
Okay, well that's sure I'm not going to reply on Twitter, but what if there are a lot of people who are making that accusation against me? What should I do?
I don't
Finally,
know.
it gets specific.
What is going on, or just ignore it? Like if it's a bad
they won't come on and talk to me.
well then ignore that. Like that's nothing. Like that's not something.
So I should just ignore hundreds or thousands of people making completely unsubstantiated insults and accusations of me?
Of course, you're a big person online. Like I get tons of people saying shit like that. I just ignore it all the time. But if it's
That you're a
someone who's,
nosball?
like, not that I'm a nosball, but like people say a whole bunch of shit about me.
Do you think the amount of harassment you and I get online is comparable?
It might be. Like I'm a woman on the internet trying to talk about politics, so like I get some shit, right? And like I just ignore it.
Okay, so when people, okay, if you get people who come to you and they're like, hey, Stacey, I think you're a whore and you're depriving men of sex. Fuck you. Do you then think that you should like have to apologize to this person?
Of course not. I don't pay attention to that.
Okay, so you don't think you should have to apologize to some people who bring certain criticisms towards you?
If they're just gonna name call me and call me a whore or things like that, like obviously not.
I'd rather call a whore than a nosball personally, but that's just my personal opinion.
Well, I mean, like frankly, it's like who cares? That's just people who are just saying shit online. Like that's not a big deal.
Same.
What I'm talking about is like people who are genuinely like, hey Mexie, like you said this, and like that was harmful to this community, and like this is why.
People don't say that to me. They don't do that. I want that. I would love that.
The jingle dono thing sounds so funny on the with the speed up like that.
I've had those conversations with people in my community, by the way. I'm usually pretty amicable. In fact, just last night, I said some maybe flippantly edgy things about that dear girl on Twitch, and a person in my community triggered the fuck out of me with some no-no words in chat. So I banned them, and 5 minutes later, I had them on call. We had a really pleasant convo, and I unbanned them. And I apologized for being snippy with them. I like those conversations. I like engaging with that. Just because my job is to debate well doesn't mean that I don't like engaging with people's ideas. After all, if I just bowled over people, eventually it would lead to me holding incorrect positions that I'm only holding because I use slippery debate tactics, and that would make me worse at my job.
Well, I'm sure a lot of people think you do have incorrect positions.
Then they have to come on and argue it. Yeah.
No, they don't. So all I'm saying is like when people come in the door, right? Like I think that people. People are like, oh, they come in through Vaush and then they're gonna start watching like Mexie and Thoughts Lime or whatever. I don't think they are because they come in the door and they see Vaush being like, these people are cowards, these people are sensitive.
Why are you acting like Vaush is more right-wing than you just because he has a different type of content and he operates in a different way? Fuck off.
You know, I don't apologize for anything that I say unless you can prove to me beyond a shadow of a doubt. You know what I mean?
Just reasonably. I mean, we don't have like data on like harm done by certain communities, or at least we don't have academic data. I'm not saying they have to prove it beyond a shadow of a doubt. And just tomorrow, I'm going to be debating Count Dankula on whether or not he's a racist. I can't deductively prove he's a racist. I'm going to have to rely on inductive reasoning based on things that he's done. If I'm willing to engage in inductive argumentation, I have to accept that other people will use it against me as well. I'm not just waiting for somebody to like prove it to me deductively. You know?
All right, anyway, like, I don't think this talk is being very productive at the moment.
This is my frustration. You came in here with a bunch of presuppositions about the extent to which I engage in good faith. I guarantee you have not watched anywhere near enough of my debates to have a good estimation of how I engage in arguments. And I think that my criticisms are very, very legitimate when a bunch of people will shit talk me.
She's like, no.
Unsubstantiated accusations, and then you tell me I either have to ignore it or to apologize to them, and they have no expectation to defend any of their arguments. And when I say I do bring them on and argue my point, you say I use measly debate tactics instead of actually listening to their arguments. You have made every conceivable uncharitable presupposition about the way I engage in, all to defend the idea that the people on Twitter are justified in their random accusations against me.
No, because first of all, the people that you say that you're upset with on Twitter are people who are calling you like Nazguls and shit. That's not what I'm talking about at all. So I came on here because I was like, Vaush wants to like connect with the left. We want to like end this whole like here's the soft left, here's the hard left. So I came on here to be like, hey, here's like what's happening, and here's some ways that we
They came on here to talk. And then she starts like doing the thing that she accused him of doing. If someone like her in this hypothetical situation that they keep ping-ponging off of each other did what she did and started having the discussion with him, she did that thing that she said that he would do. She didn't listen to him.
Like work on this pipeline or whatever that it is and have things be more amicable on the left. And then things that you've said in the chat have made me be like, okay, never mind. Like you obviously, like, you know what I mean? Like you're not open to.
You realize that you've insulted me many times in this convo by insinuating that I'm not interested in debate, that I just use debate tactics, that I don't care about listening, that I don't care about anything but winning. I have never insulted you once in this entire conversation. I have maintained decorum and respect for you. No, I did. Me saying I like winning and I want to win isn't me saying I engage in bad faith. It's just that I'm good at winning because this is
she didn't listen.
My job. You're better at making prepared content than I am. I couldn't do your job.
Listen, you said like I don't want to go over like what you said, you know, but like I didn't come on here to insult you or to condescend to you. But like things that you brought up is what I brought up afterwards.
But it's just weird that you would accuse me of engaging in bad faith when you made a fuck ton of really uncharitable assumptions. But when you say that I don't listen and I just care about winning, that's accusing me of acting in bad faith. When you made a bunch of really uncharitable assumptions.
I'm going to bring them on to listen to them to know how to counter them.
Yeah, but if I can't counter them, then they win.
Well, my whole point is that like this can't be about winning and losing on the left. Like you're not going to build community by being like who's the winner, who's the loser.
I built a larger community than almost any other left-leaning YouTuber.
You're not going to build community with people on the left. You build community of people who like your stuff. You're not building community with like.
Then I just have to beat them. Apparently, the people that I'm talking about right now are people who want to make accusations against me, but they don't actually want to argue or defend their positions. I would consider these people to be one of the reasons why the left is lost in this country up until this point. They're a bunch of like whinging sycophants who don't actually care about being politically efficacious. They're more concerned about maintaining a certain social like decorum. They want to maintain a community. But I break that mold. I have people who disagree with me in my community. I argue with my community all the time, but I am ruthless in my pursuit of the things that I believe to be true, whether it's against the conservatives or against the leftists. But it's really frustrating for me when I beat the conservatives, they're like, woo, Vaush, go ahead. But when I even the slightest disagreement with leftists, a bunch of people come at me and tell me I'm a toxic debate bro who's perpetuating toxic masculinity, when in reality, all I want people to do is defend the horrible fucking takes they have on social media to me.
That's why Vaush is based. Also, perpetuating toxic masculinity is not the same thing as being a man and being toxic. Not the same.
Great. Well, then, I guess that's it. Keep doing.
Is that bad? Can't we get along? I want everything you want. Every part of the world you want to build, I want to build. I assume you're a progressive leftist. You know, yeah.
Like, yeah, great. Like, if you don't think that there's anything at all that could be changed on your part to make the space more amicable or endear yourself to like more of the creators and like stop, you know, having the strict divide, then like I guess there's nothing to talk about. Do
you think it's possible they need to change a little bit too?
Yes, possibly.
Okay, but why does nobody have that conversation? Why is it that when I'm just doing my shit with conservatives, everyone tells me I'm the one who's engaging with bad faith of the left, when all the people who are attacking me from behind aren't the ones who need to change? Why is it always directed against me?
Because you're like frankly acting with a lot of fragility and you're not actually owning up to like,
this isn't fragility. That's not what that means. No, come on.
No, read this. I will read this right now. This is here. Great. And then we can just end this. Like, this is not going anywhere. Okay, we can be sensitive to all sorts of things, but there's a difference in being sensitive to experiencing oppression and being sensitive to our positionality or privilege being challenged. In other words, our sensitivity can be a sign of our empathy or it can be a sign of our privilege and fragility. Which one we communicate, empathy or fragility, depends on our willingness to interrogate our position within the hierarchies of violence that dominate our reality. If we're more sensitive to being asked to stop perpetuating harm than we are to rectifying it in ourselves and our communities, then we are part of the problem.
But I'm not. I need to be shown that I'm perpetuating harm for that to be applicable.
Okay.
I can't just take people's word at it. Like, do you think I disagree? Like, do you think I'd say like, oh no, when I hurt the left, I just have to keep bullying on ahead? I need to be shown that I'm hurting the left. But every time I have conversations with people, they don't have any arguments to that effect. They just have feelings.
Well, like feelings are important.
Feelings
you don't
aren't
have to
arguments.
be right.
No, I can't kowtow to people who are wrong. I can't. Why do you think the left does so badly? This is unironically videos over reels. This is like, can you imagine a conservative watching this conversation right now, where you're making the argument that I need to apologize without people providing any evidence or even an argument as to why I need to apologize?
Like, listen, like, fine, like, do your thing. Like, it's obvious that if you actually went out into an organizing space, like, you would not do well. Like,
that's why I don't. Wait, first of all, I was the 2-year president of the Sociology and Criminology Club in my class, and I led multiple conferences about oppressed people, including prisoners, including working with those groups. I was an organizing leader, and I was well respected by the peerage and by the university. Second of all, I've done multiple acts of organizing, including like grassroots organizing and campaigning, multiple periods of time in between my college career starting and becoming a YouTuber. Third of all, I fucking hate going outside, so I'd rather stay inside, do my work online. But this has nothing to do with what we're talking about right now.
It has everything to do with what I'm talking about right now. Like, you don't, in interpersonal relationships, you don't always have to be right. It doesn't always have to be like, I am right. Like, if someone, like, you don't have to agree with
personal
somebody.
relationship with anyone here, though.
Okay, fine. Like, if you're not actually trying to build relationships with other leftist creators, then like forget it. Like,
what do you mean interpersonal?
Like, just relationships.
Like with the audience or like with other content creators?
No, with other content creators.
Yeah, then let's talk. I'll talk with them in private. Yeah, I've never said anything else. I respect the fuck out of Sean's videos. It's a shame he's a fucking idiot on Twitter. I respect the fuck. Well, actually,
she's shaking her head.
I would love to talk to all these people privately. I would love to get them off my back. That would be amazing for me. My job's hard enough as it is.
I was just trying to offer some thoughts as to like why they don't want to.
Okay, but I responded to your thoughts, and I disagree with them.
Okay, so then I have nothing more to give you. I have no help to give you. So
okay, wait. Do you think that maybe some of the criticisms you've levied against me could also be applicable towards like the rest of the left? Like, hey, maybe we should make up a bunch of really weird fucking accusations against somebody who doesn't target our community unless he's responding to accusations made against him. The only time I've ever initiated coming after the left was with Sean on Burn Your Bust. In my past year and a half on Twitter, I have never initiated drama against other left-leaning content creators. They attack me, and I respond to them. I don't care. They can all fuck off for all I care. I'm just trying to do my work. I don't like collabing with people. I'm just trying to build a little YouTube empire. But if they want to like work with what I'm doing, then fuck yeah. Like I'll talk with them. We can build some parallels in our audience. I'm not that antisocial.
Okay, well, like I mean, yeah, it's no skin off my back. Like if this doesn't really work out.
Yeah. Wait, what do you mean by that?
Like if we're just gonna continue the whole like SJW strong leftist, here's the divide, like whatever, like you know, it's really no skin off my back. Like it's fine. I just thought maybe this could have been a more productive talk.
But I don't disagree with the importance of the conversation. I just disagree with some of the prescriptions that you've made here. I mean,
it wasn't a productive talk because of you.
my argument has always been this. I think that people like me are way the fuck better at doing the types of things that I do than any sensitive person ever could be, obviously. And I think the way I do appeals to a lot of people. So my thought has always been, why not just keep people like me on the front lines, and then the more sensitive lefty types can have their like backline communities, where they build like a more sensitive and reciprocal and emotionally intimate space within their own communities, and I put people into there, and if you guys don't want those people, then I can work on keeping them in my community. But like, we don't fight each other. The right doesn't fight each other, you know. Sargon and the Nazis, even though Sargon's not a Nazi, at least ostensibly, like they tend to get along
That's based.
pretty well. They don't punch right, you know. We
But watch what she does.
punch left all the time. Like, it's not very productive.
Yeah, sure.
I don't think you care what I'm talking about right now.
No, I don't think that. Yeah, I just don't think that this is like super productive. And I think that you know the fact that you think that like what you're doing is so much more important than like.
What the fuck? I don't get what the fuck she means by productive. What isn't?
Anything that, like a sensitive leftist is doing is like.
I sound better at doing this stuff. No, I sound better at doing this stuff on the front line. Converting like people who aren't leftists. Yes, Contra and I are the best people. Maybe Destiny too are the 3 best people online doing that. I can almost empirically.
The Destiny's not leftist anymore.
Okay, well, anyway, that's great. That's good. Good for you.
But what? Do you care about building a leftist space, or did you just come here to tell me that I'm fragile?
No, I came here honestly like in good faith, and this just hasn't been productive.
Nothing I've said has been in bad faith, whereas you've made many assumptions of me that were uncharitable to the point of being in bad faith. I've never made a single assumption about you or your intentions here.
Yeah, she didn't come here in good faith.
Okay.
Is that a slippery debate tactic of mine, where I come in here and I treat you with good faith, but somehow at the end of the conversation you feel as though you've been treated in bad faith? Is that like another ninjutsu that I have?
I guess.
Okay. Well, I'm always here to build.
I guess.
Go listen. If you're interested in it.
Yeah, ditto.
Okay. Peace. Holy shit. What an asshole. How am I the toxic one? This is what I say, dude. Everyone's like, dude, you're like the toxic left. But every time I interact with these people, they're unironically the most like spiteful pieces of shit. Holy fuck. I was trying so hard towards the end there. Jesus Christ. Both look bad, to be honest. I don't think I look bad even slightly in that conversation. Not even remotely. I think other people in chat who said that I look pretty bad. I think you guys are actually like delusional. Man, that was rough. Yeah, that was like unironic gaslighting, dude.
Yeah, that was crazy.
You look a little questionable? I don't know. I feel like, I mean, literally, that conversation was just like her ascribing a bunch of uncharitable positions to me, like over and over and over again.
Right.
I don't know how I could ever look bad in that context. Like every single time.
She was like listening to what he said but not hearing it, or hearing what he said but not listening, and then like twisted it around and gave it some uncharitable characterization to him, and then accuses him of not listening to people, or not wanting to listen to people, or not being open to listening to. It's like, whoa.
Like we would like address a point. Yeah, she wasn't even listening to what I was saying. This is me. Like, this is me trying to build a bridge. You know, like this is me actually like making an effort. Like,
He tries to build a bridge and she just burns it.
Mexie has shit talked me online before, but I bring Mexie on. I'm nice to Mexie. I compliment Mexie's work, and like Mexie just like I don't even know, dude. You probably burned major bridges, but you had no choice. It doesn't matter. I'm going to be bigger than almost anyone in the left tube space in another 6 months. It doesn't matter.
Well, it's been 2, and he's not there yet, but you know.
They're either going to like fall in line and learn to accept the fact that lefties are being pragmatic now, or they're going to be bullied out of the space just by in way of existing alongside me. And I'm fine with that. What a fucking toxic person, dude. How am I supposed to respect people who behave that way? All I want to do is make the left work. That's it. That's all I fucking care about. When I wake up every morning, when I fall asleep every night, the things on my mind are arguments, rhetoric, content to go over. What can I take advantage of to get as many people as possible to agree with my positions? And that's what I think about. What do I do to protect marginalized communities? How do I defend my values? How can I better express my personal preferences? That's every single thing that's what I do. That's my entire life. I think about it. Well, hot take feelings are important. No. Okay, wait. I feel like there's some sensitive types in here, and I need to like acknowledge this. Feelings are important, but that's in interpersonal relationships.
Oh, Jesus Christ, what happened?
If we're talking about business people, guys, online political content creators are not buddies, they're business compatriots who can be buddies. If a business compatriot comes over to me and they're like, hey, you heard me, I'm not gonna make any arguments for it, also you're an asshole, now apologize to me. Fuck that. You fucking kidding me? There was this weird description of interpersonal vulnerability to our conversation that I thought was inappropriate from Mexie, especially since Mexie criticized the parasocial element of my work right off the bat, which I try to disincentivize, but it's an inevitable part of what I do. And then she's like, oh, when people come to you, they're like your friends. You have to treat them super nice and you have to hear out their concerns. No, I'm a business person. This is my business. I work here. My job is to do a certain political thing. If people have problems with me, they can send me an email or they can discuss it with me on stream. I'm not going to go out of my way to coddle these people who have been relentlessly insulting me from the back end for literally over a year. Yeah, not to mention like, oh man, not to mention like her like I can't criticize a black person and her like burn your bus thing, but then she backed off of it. Yeah, no. I feel like she was talking from a neurotypical perspective. No, guys, we don't have to like be super hyper, like, we don't have to be really like super dedicatedly analytical about it, okay? It was just like abusive behavior. It's just gaslighting. What you do is wrong and you hurt other people and you need to apologize to them for it, even though they can't defend it and you're bad and you engage in bad faith and you don't listen to people's arguments. Every single uncharitable thing. I felt like destiny, dude. It's your ego? Am I getting gaslit by chat now? I'm really confused right now. I don't think it's my ego. It's my job. It's literally my job to do good at, like, wait, I'm sorry, just really quickly to clarify. So when I say I'm good at debating and I want people who disagree with me to come on because I know I can win, I'm not saying that because I ignore them or because I have a super fragile ego. I'm saying it because it is my job to debate people. That is literally my job. I do it well. I practice it every day. That is what I do. Now, mind you, you can make an argument that my ego is rolled into my debate performance, which is probably the case, almost certainly the case in fact, but that does not mean necessarily that my ego is influencing my ability to hear other people's arguments in good faith. Those are not necessarily analogous arguments.
Yeah,
so it's possible that I can have an ego with my debating, but when I argue with people, I'm still trying to hear them out. Those are not necessarily incompatible. Some of your wording was confrontational in a way that wasn't helpful. Dude, she was being so bad faith with me.
Yeah, she just took his wording and twisted it to shreds.
Be so nice to all the lefties who treat me like shit. That's so weird. Like, why? Hey, if we're talking about interpersonal behavior, why aren't they ever responsible for initiating our interactions with bad faith? Like, why am I always like she came on, I complimented her. Not nice, but a bit more chill. You were aggressive as fuck. I really don't think so. I actually think maybe this is my bias. I think a lot of you guys are unironically just Mexie fans, or like or you're simping because she's a woman. I think that's actually the case. Because I don't know, like I'm in my own head, admittedly, but I feel like there's no way if anyone else treated me that way, if it was a random person and a guy who said everything in the same way, I feel like there's no fucking way you guys would be treating it this way. I can't fathom that you guys would be treating it that way. Fighting fire with fire wasn't the best option. I didn't. That's a good thing. Then I didn't engage in bad faith at
Yeah, he didn't.
any point in time. I never called her cowardly because she came on and talked to me. I never said that her content was ineffective. I said that she was valuable. I specifically clarified that she wasn't cowardly. I said she does valuable work for the left. I said that she does academic work. I said that she does prepared content in a way that I could never do. So yeah, like I don't know.
I need to fucking pee. But yeah, that was it, basically. That was the Vaush Mexie debate. Not good.